Hello everybody, a very good morning to you all and welcome back to another daily live trading session here at Taurex. I hope everyone has had a good trading week so far. I've actually finally managed to get involved in some trading opportunities which I posted in our Discord channels. This is another daily market update where I'm going to be running through what's been going on with the trade, how I'm feeling about it, and some updates on the news as well, because we have got some news events coming out on this rather busy week, and tomorrow, of course, is non-farm payroll, so it doesn't get any quieter. So this today might actually be a little bit of a lull before the main event tomorrow. So we'll break down what we're expecting coming out of the Bank of England today, and tomorrow we're going to be doing a preview of that NFP. So if you are around and you have any questions about the markets, anything you want me to cover, then feel free to let me know. So I'm just going to give you a quick rundown now. So on the big screen now, we have our dollar yen trade, which for me has now been tagged in. So I just want to talk to you a little bit about that trade, and there was some news that come out which I wasn't really too happy with, to be honest, but let's just talk about it just a second. So if we go back to the original analysis, basically what happened was we saw a market which was trending bullish, right? We could see that on the daily time frame. Let me just get rid of all of this so you can actually see clearly. Here's our Fibonacci, which goes from this swing low up to this swing high, right? We can see that. Down into the 61.8% yesterday. And if you actually look where the market closed on Wednesday, you can see it closed above that 61.8%. And then yesterday we had this, for me, it was quite a worrying or concerning candle. I actually thought that I was probably going to get stopped out, to be honest. And that is why I always try and cover these lows when it comes to my stop loss, because we've got clear liquidity at this low. So I wanted to make sure I covered just a few pips below that low, just to make sure that I didn't really find myself getting liquidity grabbed or seeked, or whatever you want to call it, and then getting stopped out. Hello to you, Bobby. It's good to see you, and I hope you're doing well on this Thursday morning for me. And then when you break that down onto the 4-hour time frame, you can see we've basically got this demand zone, right? This order block level. And yesterday, the market came in, actually had quite a bearish, close below this 50%, which is this dotted line here. And actually, I thought from there that probably I was probably going to be toast. But actually, we've recovered a little bit this morning. So I've woken up in a happy mood because we have finally seen some bullish momentum on dollar yen. And actually, I want to add to that and say, when I look at the RSI indicators, let me just bring that down and then expand it. Make it a bit bigger as well. What do you notice here on this market? As you see, RSI moving higher, and the market moving lower. What does that mean? Well, that's a bullish RSI divergence. That basically means that as it stands at the moment, with those lows, they're becoming weaker and weaker. And basically that means that the selling power is running out, and we could be in for a reversal. But we know on the higher time frames we're still bullish. So when I'm in a trade like this, I tend not to. I always say to people that when you place the analysis, when you do the analysis, don't worry too much about what comes after. Manage the trade as it's live, and that's pretty much what I'm doing. So I'm just giving you an update and showing some extra analysis on top of that. But I'm not, even if it was showing bearish divergence, I wouldn't be now closing the trade. I'm in the trade now. The market will do what the market wants to do, and all I can do is manage my risk accordingly. And that's what I think is really important to do. So what would be great is if we see basically this move up here. So break above this high, even this one would be great. Retracement and a move higher. And I'm just really trying to build that case for that bullish move higher. So hopefully, anyone who's maybe following this trade, that's pretty much what we're looking at the moment. Right, now, just some news on this. I wouldn't say it was the best news in the world, because the Bank of Japan officially reaffirmed its rate hike path, which is basically them saying, if I scroll down, The Bank of Japan will keep raising the policy rate if the underlying inflation reaches its 2% target, a senior official has said. Now, speaking today to Parliament, Masaki, Director General of the BOJ's Monetary Affairs, noted that Japan's underlying inflation was still under 2%. Now, he said that the central bank should therefore maintain loose monetary policy to support economic activity. So there's a little bit of conflict there in terms of good to hear, Bobby, you're on that trade. Well, good luck. This bit here. So we are expecting more rate hikes from the Bank of Japan. Technically, people will probably be screaming out, well, that's bullish, right, for the Japanese yen. Yes, it is. But historically, what I've seen from the Bank of Japan is even when they've said they come out and they've been a bit hawkish in nature, they've always tended to overall maintain a sort of loose monetary policy stance, and that would support Japanese yen sells. So I don't mind being on the selling side of the Japanese yen at the moment. And then you've got the dollar story, which I think this particular trade that I'm in hinges massively on the NFP tomorrow, because I think we're sort of starting to peak in like max hawkishness from the Federal Reserve. So we need a strong NFP tomorrow to really boost the dollar that bit more. So that was a detailed rundown of my trade on dollar yen. So when it comes to the economic calendar for today, I want to point you in the direction of something which is really, really important, and that is, if I just filter this to high impact only, this. The Bank of England monetary policy decision. So we have another central bank decision coming out, and as we know, as I've always tried to repeat, this is really what drives markets. So if you're a trader of the pound today, then we really need to be watching out for what the Bank of England do. I can tell you what I think they're going to do, and I think they're going to cut rates by 25 basis points. I think overall I still hold a fairly bearish stance on the pound. So again, if I wasn't in the dollar yen long, I'd probably be looking for some cable downside, some pound dollar downside. Now, you see here where we have the Bank of England MPC vote rate cut. This is basically, in the Bank of England, what we get is, in a very British way, we get a situation where there's votes for the Monetary Policy Committee members. They either vote for hikes, cuts, or to stay where they are, right? So if we get a shift towards people actually voting more for cuts than we do hikes, that would support some pound weakness. But if there's actually more people voting for unchanged, or no one's going to vote for hikes now, but unchanged, then that could be a hawkish shift, and that could be pound upside. So make sure when that comes out today at 12 o'clock GMT, make sure you have a look at the vote split, because that's really important. So onto the markets and onto the pound versus the US dollar. You can see on the hourly time frame. Let's go onto the 4 hour. We had that fair value gap created from Friday to Monday. We closed, we traded above it, we retested it, and then we went higher. So there was a good potential long there. But I know that on the higher time frames, if you look at the daily, right, we are still in what I like to call bearish flow. So I'm wondering if we're going to get that next leg lower in the pound versus US dollar. Because all I'm doing is following market structure. Now, when does that change? Well, that changes when you see this market structure higher here. That changes when this breaks. As it stands right now, this is a clean liquidity grab, and I think we are in a good area of resistance for the pound versus the US dollar. And we could potentially see today a move down towards around 1.24, or at least another test of this fair value gap. Now, how that looks on the lower time frames is probably where you're going to get the best opportunities, because you can really see that liquidity grab come into play, where the market failed to close above. If we get that, I think the next leg higher in the pound versus US dollar, I think that's going to be the one where we maybe start to see a shift in the dollar and also a shift in the pound as well. And it's probably going to require a weaker dollar, weaker NFP tomorrow, etc. But as it stands right now, I still want to follow the higher time frame trend. So I'm looking for evidence of some downside. Lots of resistance here. Probably somewhere around 1.25. I think today could be, where are we at? 1.248. So it's only 20 pips away. I probably want to cover the liquidity. This is what I would do if I wasn't in my dollar yen long. I'll probably look for something like that. Even that low is a 1.4 to 1. And then if we can actually catch on to the next daily swing low, you see that down here as well, that's really important. Look what's down here. Bobby, you know about this. Equal lows, liquidity. Right, that's our daily target going forward. So this is something that I like the look of, and it marries up really with the fundamentals today. But I'm already exposed to the dollar, so I'm not going to expose too much more. Let's have a look at gold, because I know some people will be waiting for the next pullback in gold, and the good news is that we're definitely bullish, because you can see that with the high highs and the breakout above our target from our trade before. However, we are in that situation now where I think we're either going to pause or maybe even retrace. And I'm really just waiting for the next retracement, and then I'm going to try and catch on to something like that. So as it stands right now for gold, there isn't actually any trades that I'm looking at, but I've got my eyes on it just in case we get any more of a pullback. Okay. Stock market, very messy. I don't think we really know what the situation is with all these tariffs and these retaliations. It's creating a market which is choppy. There's no real clear direction. If I had to, I would probably still look for longs on the stock market, but there's not really anything clear for me right now. So when that happens, I tend to sit away. Bitcoin. Yes, okay, Bitcoin. 1.5% up today. Right. I mean, Bitcoin's still very much, it's a similar sort of thing to the stock market, right? There's no real clear direction. You could say on the higher time frame that we are pausing. We're creating almost like this range, and we're creating this period of consolidation, this liquidity build up. And I think that, there's no evidence to suggest that we're going to see a big drop in Bitcoin just yet. If we do get a situation where we close below 88,000, then yeah, we can probably target lower. But as it stands right now, for me, I don't trade range in markets, right? I don't trade them. So when we get a situation like this, I just wait. I just ignore it, and I wait for liquidity grabs on either side. Once we get the liquidity grab on either side, I then look for that decisive breakout move, retest, and then for that, really, really simple. So at the moment, Bobby, there's not anything clear cut for me on Bitcoin. We're still stuck in that range. But the positive news is it's holding firm. It's holding firm around 100k, and that's really positive going forward for this year anyway. Okay, good stuff. Right. So main event today, obviously, we've got the Bank of England decision, so that makes sure we are understanding what's going on there. We have also got Amazon earnings after the bell. So tomorrow I'll come on and have a look at Amazon stock. And I think we may, historically, Amazon's been a stock which a company, should I say, which just seems to smash its earnings reports every single time. So, I'm looking for something similar today. I'm not trying to be a hero and think it's going to be any different. The tech earnings have been solid, although some of them are sort of in line, and everyone just now expects them to beat estimates. But I would say that the tech earnings have been very, very solid, and Amazon's always been a front runner in that. So you could argue that it could be a good time to look for some NASDAQ or some Amazon longs, short scalping opportunities off the back of the earnings report released today. But I'll break that down in tomorrow morning stream and have a look to see if we can get any good trades. Okay, for now, I will monitor dollar yen, and anyone who wants any updates or any questions on any of the markets, then you can access me on our Discord channel all day, and I will be more than happy to assist. And until then, I do hope everyone has a good trading day. Good luck with Bank of England. Trade well, trade safe, and I'll see you soon.